I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
But in the kingdom, we're going to have that power like the angels, but we're going to be what you call extraterrestrial. In other words, we're not going to be regular terrestrial like we are right now. Because what happened is, in the ancient world, we had that power. We had that power when we were on a level like gods. But what happened is, the Most High took that power from us. Over the generations and over the years, the Lord took that power from us. But we're going to get that back. We're going to get that power back coming into the kingdom.
I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord. But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
When we think about the kingdom, most brothers think of like the small, minute terms. But the vastness of the kingdom, the greatness of the kingdom, dealing with the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and the information alone that we're going to receive when we get to the kingdom. That's on a whole nother level. Never mind the riches and the lands and the women and the children and, to be in your chariot, sipping some yayan, on your chalice, your gold chalice with all them rubies and emeralds and sapphires and, the different precious stones, going to places.
But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
No one, no matter how vivid a brother's imagination is, there's nothing in comparison to what's coming. You can't even imagine. You can't even paint it a picture or write it to words or give an explanation that even comes close to the majesty that's coming. We are destined for greatness in the new righteous kingdom.
But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
The brother with the most vivid imagination out there can't imagine what the kingdom of heaven has in store, what it's going to be like. What we're basing the kingdom of heaven as far as riches and having a good time and things of that nature is just based off of our experiences in this world and what we think having a good time is and living the life is. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. There are pleasures forevermore at thy right hand. So the kingdom that's coming is going to be set up and established in righteousness. The Israelites are going to be changed. Thy people shall be all righteous. Not one Israelite is going to be lost, because the promise that the Most High made to Abraham was to all that seed. And the seed of the promise went from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. Every seed that came out of Jacob is a part of the ones that are going to receive the benefits that the Most High promised to blessed Abraham.
A transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down. According to the Holy Scriptures, Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, is set to bring immortality to the nation of Israel, the elect, via establishing the tabernacle of David, as we talk about the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He is coming to take down this current world ruled by Esau, Edom, and establish a righteous kingdom, which is synonymous with the throne of David. That's scriptural, which is a government that's going to run this world in righteousness.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutations to the whole lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the whole lake, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Shah. All right. And what I want to get into today, no morning news and prophecy, all right, is going into the aspect of ye shall not surely die, set up for failure. Okay. And what we have to understand, Esau, Edom, all right, when you understand the dynamic, of the serpent, okay, in the garden, well, there's Esau, Edom coming back today. And there's the serpent is El Apostle. Our Yomlop always goes into it, the deal, the pact, the Gardenian pact that was made between the serpent, okay, and Eve in the garden. Well, it provided, Eve with particular purpose, as the serpent was envious of the order and the structure, that was given to Adam, Adam was given their breath. And the devil, he was envious of that. Okay, so he planted a seed of deception, within Eve. Okay, and matter of fact, let's just get into it. Let's get into some precepts. Okay, and expound on that. When you go here to the book of Genesis, chapter 3. All right, then we're gonna link this into prophecy of the day. Because if you're spiritual, these things are all connected. See, the spirit, you can connect everything to what's happening in real time today, things of the Bible, even things of old. Okay, this is Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, all right, which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, yeah, have the Most High said, ye shall not eat, all right, of every tree of the garden. Okay, now when it speaks about eating of every tree, okay, of the garden, because you had other people, all right, in the garden. All right, you had other nations in the garden. Okay, but then you had, all right, Adam was representing the beginning of what? The sons of God. All right, which were, Adam was separated because he had that breath. Okay, and he was given dominion as he was given the order to dress and keep, okay, the garden, which, represented the earth, because the earth was a paradise. And specifically, the garden east in Eden, all right, eastward in Eden, okay, was what we would call Jerusalem today. Okay, the land of Israel. All right, and Adam ruled, okay, out of that land. Okay, and he was ruling with the breath, the Holy Spirit. Okay, and the woman was given the instructions according to the wisdom, all right, understanding, laws, statutes, and commandments that was given to Adam. Okay, and if the scriptures say the devil, was envious of that. Okay, so what did he do? He came to the weaker vessel, the woman, all right, and planted a seed of deception, Okay, and he planted a way, okay, that was outside their righteous way. Okay, the trees of the garden represent the other nations. Okay, and eating of those trees was eating of those cultures and lifestyles of those other nations. Because even when you go, let's pull this up here real quick. Uh, let's pull this up. The women. I got a few videos we're gonna get into as well. All right. Women in ancient Egypt. Okay, enjoy. I'm gonna pull it up. But it says, and the woman said to the serpent, we may eat of the fruit, okay, of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest ye die. All right, because outside of the ways of righteousness, because you go into the scriptures, Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 15, you know, if a brother can post that, Bible Shop, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 15. Okay, because righteousness is immortality, okay, according to the scriptures. So when you start to operate outside of righteousness, okay, well, you enter into death. You know, that's why scripture say, he that goeth out of the way, a brother can post that too in Proverbs, he that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall be in the congregation of the dead. Okay, so let's post that as well. He that wandered out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. And this is what the serpent got the woman to do, was to wander out of the way of understanding. Okay, which is a way of death. Okay, it says, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. So he lied. Okay, he's flat-footed lied. But what did he do to make it sound good? All right, what the hell did this devil say to make it sound good? He started to offer the perks. That's why it said, for the Most High doth know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, you shall be enlightened. So he made it seem like what he was putting her on or something, like something she was missing out on. Okay, yeah, the serpent made it seem like, look, I got something better. You see, it says, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, so he presented her pleasant things, pleasant promises, perks. Look, you can be like this, you can have this, and you can, you know, why can't you? Why you just gotta be this? Why you can't? You got good ideas. Why you know, you just hyping up, juicing her up, gassing her up, man. Okay, and this is what Esau has done in this time. All right, going back from the 60s until now, he's just been gassing a woman up. Okay, with these pleasantries. Okay, it says, and the woman saw that the tree, okay, was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes. You see, in that moment, okay, she like, dang, you know, oh yeah, you see, and he's just gassing her up, man. Okay, it says, in a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Okay, so eventually, what Adam was worn down, okay, and he started to partake in that other way, and then you had the fall, okay, of Adam, okay, which was the falls of the sons of God, and we've been falling ever since until now. All right, as we've been revived, all right, through Yahushua, okay, which Yahushua, you know, that's why his life represented him cleaning up the mess in the garden. You know, that's why he was so locked in, okay, as Yahushua. Okay, so going here, yep, the water brothers. This is from the brother, Yashima tribe of Judah, Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 15. He said, for righteousness is immortal. Okay, and this is what was given to Adam within that breath that the Most High, all right, breathed unto him. He endowed him with righteousness, with wisdom, okay, which is immortal. Okay, well, what did the serpent do? Okay, he gassed up Eve to do what? It said the man that wondered, this Proverbs 21 and 16. Okay. Yeah, it's the same one. Okay, yeah. This is the brother, hopefully of the elect. It said Proverbs 21 and 16. It said the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Okay, and this is what the serpent got Eve to do. All right, to wander outside of her, all right, order, the way of understanding. Okay, the role that the Most High intended her to play was a helpmeet. All right, an aid, an assistant unto Adam. Okay, but the serpent, like he gassed her up, like, look, you're being held back. You're more than that. You can be this, you can be that. Why you can't rule? Why men can't answer to you? You're wise, you're smart. Why you know? So he's hyping up, and you just can extrapolate what was said based on what we see playing out today, how the woman has been gassed up today. All right. And ultimately, the serpent set the woman up for failure. Okay. Because they say, because if you, all right, what they call toxic masculinity, if you're a masculine man, all right, they'll label you misogynist. All right. As if you hate women because you have a standard as a man. Okay, because you don't tolerate, you have, expectation for women, and you have your type, and you have your preference. It's toxic masculinity, or misogynist, because you have a standard. Okay, but there's no one that's more misogynist than Esau Edom. Okay, because the way that he set women up for failure, okay, is like no other nation has ever done. Okay. So, and we went into the camp. You can watch the latest camp on the GMS Kingdom Mining page, and we touched on those things. But he got Eve the one out of the way of understanding, and instead of being in order to the Israelite man, okay, and then us as Israelite men being in order to our power, which that created security for us, man. That was our security when we was in tune with our power, and the woman was under our order. That's where you get the golden age from of Israel. Okay, when we was in order as a people. Okay, and then you seen even Jake have a little prosperity post slavery when there was order. Okay, within the family. Okay, whereas this devil came with what? He came with those goodies for the woman, whether government assistance or allowing the woman to have these particular careers, and positions of high office, and okay, he came with those goodies and disrupted that family structure. And what do you see today? A complete setup for failure. Okay, so I want to play this. I got it. So this is from the brother. All right, the hopeful elect 3, the brother Yaqua. All right. So the title. All right, this is the brother channel, the hopeful elect 3. All right. Subscribe and continue to be informed. All right, of what's going on. The brother's always posting. Okay, but it says careers dominated by women are being targeted. Okay, so one of the main boasts the woman has had, all right, the thing that she's been able, the rock that she's been able to stand on and scream, independent. I don't need a man, has been either government assistance or these degrees and careers. All right, and now we're seeing both of these, okay, being dismantled. Okay, but this is the rock that they've been able to stand on for years, and just scream independent. I don't need a man. As long as this was in place, these careers and degrees and government assistance, they've been able to scream this, okay, all throughout the earth. Okay, but what are we seeing happening, man? Let's play this. If a brother can post it in Isaiah 30 and 3. Okay, and let's get Sirach chapter 5, verse 7, Bible shop.
I want to talk about one more thing. You guys stay with me here. So there's a new part of the big, beautiful bill that places a cap on certain kinds of student loans, and nursing students may feel the brunt of it. So the Department of Ed is proposing a new rule which would redefine professional degrees. That includes pharmacy, dentistry, veterinary medicine, but not nursing. And that means that could cut down their student loan access. The American Nurses Association released a statement urging the department to reverse course, adding, quote, at a time when healthcare in our country faces a historic nurse shortage and rising demands, limiting nurses' access to funding for graduate education threatens the very foundation of patient care.
Can you imagine going to school for years and then your degree is suddenly just wiped out of the list of professional options?
How about they go to school for 6 years and get a master's and see how professional that is?
As someone who has been studying my ass off for 2.5 years in a doctorate of nursing practice program, to now be told that my profession is not professional is beyond disrespectful.
Joining me now, Anya Kamenetz, journalist and author of Generation Debt. Anya, thanks so much for talking with me, because this is not just about the classification, right? This is about money. This is about whether or not you can get help with those degrees. Talk about the proposal.
That's exactly right. So as part of the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, the access to PLUS loans has been severely reduced or eliminated. And PLUS loans were for graduate school, and they had no cap. Now, that can be a problem because it means mounting debt, but there's an exception to the PLUS loan rule, and that was for professional students. Professional students were able to borrow up to a $200,000 aggregate limit. And now the problem comes where they're saying, well, nurses are actually not part of that list of professions. And just to note, they did include chiropractors, they did include professors of theology, but they've excluded, the backbone really of the healthcare profession in the United States, almost 5 million people.
Can you talk about the implications for this in education, but also in the nursing profession? People who do this work, they're very committed to it. I don't see them just suddenly saying, I'm not going to do this anymore. But are there impacts that maybe some of us aren't understanding?
So we should clarify, there are levels of nursing that you can practice with an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree. And so this change really impacts those who choose to go on in their profession to earn graduate degrees, which enable them to do things like diagnose and prescribe medication, lead research, and perhaps teach other nurses. And so what happens beyond that, if they lose access to these loans, which is, overwhelmingly what it takes to complete that professional certification, that might impact space at nursing schools, because these graduate students might be funding slots that other students are taking in the bachelor's degree program. So it impacts the pipeline of the profession. It impacts the professional expansion for nurses as they go through their careers, and it might impact the space for other folks. As we heard, there is obviously a huge healthcare shortage in this country.
Yeah, even general practitioners, especially in rural areas. We don't have a lot of time left, but I did want to get your point of view on this idea that some of these jobs that are no longer on the list are jobs that are disproportionately done by women.
Oh my gosh. I mean, almost 9 out of 10 nurses are women in the United States. And I think you heard from the folks on TikTok, right? There's a feeling of respect. What are we able to call a profession? What are we not calling a profession, even though they may be performing very much the same work to keep people healthy?
That's Anya Kamenetz. Thanks so much for talking with us.
Just when you think it couldn't get any worse, American nurses, you in danger, girl. The Department of Education just made a massive change that is going to cost you thousands maybe tens of thousands of dollars. Under President Trump, big, beautiful bill, this act, the definition of professional degree has been revamped. And we just got left off the list. This isn't about titles. This is about excluding nursing graduate students who could lose access to specific federal loans and loan forgiveness programs that were previously available to professional degrees. I'm sure this reinforces the stereotype that nursing isn't a real profession, and this couldn't come at a worse time. This is going to make the nursing shortage more catastrophic if people can't afford the schooling. So I don't understand what is happening out there, because again, we talk about the nursing shortage and we say, you know what, there's not a shortage of bodies, but a shortage of respect. And if this isn't a slap in the face, then I don't know what is. So nurses in America, what are you going to do about this? And nurses in Canada, don't be fooled that this can't happen here too.
The exhaustion that I currently feel from this administration is unreal.
So now, they're saying that the profession of nursing is not a professional, which they lose the status of being professional, which cuts them off from different access to loans and particular grants and for schooling and different things needed or whatever. So they're downgrading these certain degrees, all right, which is one of the things of what women have been boasting in. Now the thing about it, we're gonna get into it in precepts. All right, we're gonna get some precepts. Matter of fact, let's get it real quick. Just to expound on it, then we'll let the rest of it play. And you can see that these women, their hope and trust is still here. Everything, the beginning and the end of their hope is here. And this system being up and running, and these little benefits being available for them. Okay, this is their end and their beginning. So when these things are snatched, they're done. Okay, so let's go here. And this is why Yahweh Shemal Shai, this is why the grace period was open up. Okay, this is on the book of Sirach 5 and 7. The brother, hopefully, of the elect. Sirach 5 and 7 said, make no tarrying to turn, all right, to the Lord, and put not off, all right, from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Okay, and a lot of people are secure in this society, whether it's their careers, whether it's in government assistance, whether it's in these little perks, that they get from this government. Okay, and this convenience of this first world society, this is their security. Now, the scriptures say we use this world, but not abuse it. So, of course, I know, a lot of you sisters might be, nurses or whatever. You do what you got to do. But see, the thing is, the teaching, okay, of a new world, all right, of a righteous kingdom has went forth. Okay, faith has gone forth. The teaching of faith in something other than this system has went forth. Okay, to where this ain't the end all be all for us, no matter, because brothers got careers, because we all gonna be affected. Okay, like this mountain, because it's a controlled demolition, so it's gonna affect different sectors at different times. Okay, these set of careers gonna be affected. AI gonna be replacing this sector of society and the workforce, and these degrees are no longer considered professional because they got AI hospitals. I believe they have whole hospitals that are AI in China. See, we can look it up. Okay, so different sectors are going to be different. The thing is that separates the elect from everyone else. This is not our rest. This ain't the end all be all. We know it's a day that's going to come where we got to let this shit go anyway. Okay, while this place is up and function, of course, you do what you got to do. If you get government assistance, you do what you got to do. You gotta play that work for you in this society. Use it till you can't. Because we all in this situation in Babylon to where we're going to use it till we can't use it anymore. Okay, but if this is your end all be all, if you think you're secure, okay, in your career or whatever you got going on in business, okay, whatever you think you got going on that you're secure in, all right, that's not true security, man. Okay. And it's going to fail. All right. So I want to see, look at it. Yeah, we'll play. I found a little video. We might play it, see what they're talking about. But yeah, man, let's go back to the video. Let's go here.
It behooves me to go and dive deeper into the things and the problems of America that we're dealing with currently. I have 3 degrees, 2 master's degrees, 1 undergraduate. Undergraduate is in education, master's in educational administration, other master's in school counseling, only to find out that undergraduate and master's degrees in education will no longer be counted as professional degrees. We have to pay for our certificates. We have to pay to keep licensing, educational licensing. That's not professional. I'm really upset about that because this is my career and this is what I wanted to do with my life. And I'm a little bit afraid of what that means for me and my kids, because I have a son going to college next year. And the major that he wants to major in is engineering, and that was on the list as well. I'm also concerned for all of the things that's on that list. It was nurse practitioner, a lot of things in the medical field, but most importantly, a lot of female-dominated careers. So not only are we attacking females, but a lot of those careers are also mandated reporters, like a diagnostician, occupational therapist. These are things in the school, mandated reporters, okay? So kids won't be protected. Women aren't being protected. We've worked hard to get to where we're at, only to be knocked down. Another thing I've noticed, a lot of these careers are people of color dominated. So because they haven't been able to rage bait us any other way, we have literally been staying down and staying quiet. They're trying everything they can to get us to react. At this point, we just need to find and start our own businesses so that nobody can knock us down from a tier.
Still talking about a solution within this system. Okay, the same people that, because the reason your degree is recognized is because the Edomite government, okay, these businesses that you're talking about starting, all right, you have to get permission from an Edomite government, okay, the whole system needs to collapse, okay, and you still hear the pride in these women, we work hard and this and that, and, no mention of the Most High, no thankful appreciation for the day, just what we've done, and we just pride, man. Okay, and that's about to be demolished, man. And brother can post that in Isaiah 2:12, Bible shop.
A pedestal or anything. It's time for us to suit up and boot up.
Some of you all were confused, so I got out of bed so that I can explain to you all why a certain level of degrees were downgraded by the Department of Education. You're not going to like it. Let me put on my lip gloss first. So you need to understand the levels and the depths of why they're doing this and what and who is designed to affect. Now I'm gonna keep it real cute and I'm gonna keep it really short and simple. And the short and simple explanation of all of this is that when Kevin Roberts, remember when I talked about him? But when Kevin Roberts wrote that nasty piece of Project 2025 legislation, he had a certain group and demographic and gender of people in mind that he wanted to make subject to white men. Now, the degrees that they declassified make up an overwhelming majority of women. Women work these fields. And when they go into higher levels of education,
And you're already subjugated to white men, Edomite men. Okay? You get his loans from his banks, go to his schools, get his degrees, and go work for his corporation. Okay? You see, there's this illusion. See, no one is more delusional than the nigga woman, especially those that have these degrees, and they think that there's some self-made deity and goddess in the earth. Like, this is a heavy delusion. Okay? The so-called white man created your ass. All right? And that's why he can make one jot of his pen in his legislation and you're done. Okay? He can hit the off switch, okay, on particular little perks of this society, you're done. Okay? So you are a creation. Okay? Your battery pack, all right, is Daddy Esau. Okay? If he takes, all right, the batteries out this system, you're done. Okay? So there's nothing that needs to be done to get you submissive to the Edomite male. All right? You're completely submissive to the Edomite male. Your behavior, your attitude, okay, it benefits who? The Edomite male. Okay? It benefits everything about you, benefits the Edomite male power structure. Okay?
they become directors of institutions, mental health facilities, things like that, which allows them to make a livable wage. If you look at the infrastructure of Project 2025 and making women incubators and dependent on men, you have to take their ability, their earning ability away from them. Now, in terms,
who gave you your earning ability? Who created these jobs? Who created these careers? Who allowed you to be a judge and a politician? Okay? It's not because of your hard work. It's not because you, all right, some deep, all right, wise and okay. No. Okay. You just been weaponizing. Part of weaponizing you, okay, was to give you a revenue to where you didn't, all right, financially need men to destroy, okay, the family structure. Okay, they didn't want any more Black Wall Street. They didn't want any more Durham, North Carolina. They didn't want, all right, Jake to operate as a family because it was script. Because Jake will come together and build. You have a net. When you look at Black Wall Street, there was a family. There was a network of Black families, skilled men and women. Okay. But what did they do? They gave you these careers, gave you this revenue. You got puffed up, you got proud, okay? So when now you're at war with the man. Now you have this hatred towards the man. Okay? You've been left to yourself, your own decision making, and we see what that's led to. Okay? So this revenue that you have, that you've enjoyed, these careers was given to you to weaponize you. Okay, and it wasn't because you worked hard in nursing school and all this, and no, these opportunities was available to you to weaponize you. That's it. Okay, you didn't do nothing special. All right, this whole narrative of the Black woman just overcoming and doing that. No, you were weaponized. Okay. That was the whole purpose of that, to weaponize you. Look at the results. You see?
Of the declassification, there's one other thing to note. And that other thing to note is by declassifying these particular degrees, you also declassify the amount of funding that one can take out for said degrees. Now, if you didn't already know, Black women make up the largest majority of people who actually take out student loans. And so because of this declassification, it bars out those women who actually want to pursue their education but don't have the money to pursue it right away, because these jobs don't particularly pay at the bachelor's level. So in order for them to get those advanced level degrees, they would have to take out student loans in order to get them. But it would also give them access to some of those director level positions. So there's two demographics that they're going after. They're going after women as a whole so that women can be dependent on their men. And then the subset, Black women particularly, because in order for us to access a lot of these advanced level degrees, we would need to take out student loans. By declassifying them, we would not be able to have access to student loans, thus not furthering our education, thus keeping us out of positions that require that further level of education. Clap that T.
The Department of Education has now come out with a list of degrees that they are saying will no longer be considered professional. And this list will take effect July of 2026. Some of the degrees that they said are no longer professional include a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, advanced nurse practitioner, nurse practitioners, a physician assistant, teachers, a speech language pathologist, and there's more. But when I saw this again, I couldn't believe it. Because what does that mean on the back end? On the back end, that means that they are attacking female dominant fields. That's a major blow right there. That's a major blow right there. That's a major blow right there. And secondly, people that are interested in those specific degrees will have a lesser chance in getting the federal funding that they need to get in those programs. And people voted for this. It's becoming to the point where y'all did not take Project 2025 serious. And it's sad. Because these people are stripping everything that they can away from the Department of Education. And it's sad. It's really getting on my nerves, and I'm just really getting sick of it.
And ultimately, the woman just set up for failure by the serpent, man. You know, at the end of the day. All right. So let's get a few precepts. Then I got a little history I want to go into as well. All right. Go up back up. No, brother been posting. All right. This is the hopeful late remnant 144 said, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Now it said the shadow of Egypt, which we know this is America, which America comes in the resemblance of ancient Egypt. Now I want to go to some history in Egypt to show you how America is the shadow. You know, it's a, because the shadow goes into a protection, you know, and it also goes in what, to a resemblance, because an image, okay, is a what, is a resemblance of something. I mean, the shadow is a resemblance of something. It's a resemblance of an image. Okay. So you trust in the protection of the shadow of Egypt, which America, it resembles, okay, ancient Egypt. Now let's go there real quick, and then we'll go back to the precepts y'all brothers got. So let's go here to the chat. Okay. So I said, did women in ancient Egypt enjoy certain liberties in civil life similar to America today? All right. So it says women, okay, women in ancient Egypt had more legal rights and social freedoms than women in most other ancient civilizations, but not nearly the same level of equality or personal liberty as in the U.S. today. So even though Egypt was, women were liberated in Egypt way more than other ancient civilizations, they still, all right, didn't enjoy, all right, the level of personal liberty that they have in America today. Okay. All right. It says, what rights ancient Egyptian women had compared to Greece and Rome and much of the ancient world? Egyptian women enjoyed exceptionally strong civil rights, property ownership. Women can own land, houses, livestock, and slaves, inherit property, control their own wealth, sell or will their property, all right, independently. This is very unusual for ancient societies. Even Greek and Roman women couldn't do this without a male guardian. Legal independence. Women, all right, could sign contracts, sue and be sued in court, serve as witness, engage in business transaction. They did not require a husband's or father's permission. Some documents show wives running businesses or acting as financial partners. Marriage rights. Women could initiate divorce, keep their property in divorce, sue former husbands for unpaid alimony like support, remarry freely. Okay? Marriage was largely a civil contract, not a religious or legal subordination. So even this modern marriage goes back to ancient Egypt, alimony and all these different things. That model of this scam, okay, of modern marriage today goes back to ancient Egypt, man. All right, it says work and occupation. It says most worked in domestic roles, but they could also be weavers, brewers, all right, musicians. You see, want to be singers and singing groups and all that, administrators, landowners, priestess, even doctors. There were female physicians. A few elite women held high offices, and women occasionally ruled as pharaoh. All right, example gives two pharaohs, the Hatshepsut, you know, and some other nigga. It says while they didn't have, all right, what they didn't have compared to women in the U.S. today, despite these freedoms, equality was not modern. All right, political rights. Women could not vote, have no reputation in government, rarely held political posts. Queens and female pharaohs were rare exceptions. Social norms were patriarchal. Men were seen as household heads, which, you know, in this society, you know, especially amongst the tribes, all right, women are looked at as the household heads. Gender roles were strictly divided. Okay, now the woman has to be what? The man and the woman. Okay, in the household. You see, amongst the tribes, it says most women had limited access to advanced education. And you see what this woman was crying about was, you know, this bill, all right, inhibits them access to advanced education. And this advanced education is meant to do what? For Esau kingdom, man. Okay, the only thing that most nigga women have become professional in is this man's kingdom and society, Ford and his corporation, what he got going on. Okay, the nigga woman is one of the biggest sellouts. All right, it says women's public roles were much, all right, smaller. All right, personal freedom. Let's go. Let's go here. It says ancient Egyptian women, all right, had remarkable civil liberties for their era. Okay. Let's see. They go here. Personal freedom said compared to modern standards, women had fewer choices in career and public life, were expected to marry early. Now, you know, marriage is optional. You know, marriage is, you know, just something once you get through living your life as a woman, you might consider marriage. You know, but in ancient Egypt, they were still expected to marry early, even though women had liberties. Certain liberties. Said social mobility, especially for lower class women, was limited. Okay. So it says summary, ancient Egyptian women had remarkable civil liberties for this era, especially in property rights, legal autonomy, marriage and divorce, business dealings, but they did not have full social equality, political rights, all right, the level of personal freedom and career opportunity comparable to women in America today, man. So this is, all right, what the serpent was introducing. This is the trees of the garden. Okay, this was the fruits of the trees of the other garden. Like, look, you don't have to, you know, you're being held back. It's a better way. It's a better life for you. It's a better, you know, you can be in government. You can make decisions, and women aren't built for that. Women have a beautiful role. Okay, And we see what happens when women are taking out their natural role, because most of the bitterness of the modern nigga woman comes from them being out of place and having to bear their burden, okay? Or trying to be, the man and the woman, okay? But Esau, what he promised these different perks. He set up, these safety nets. He set up, these loans, these grants, these benefits and this and that. Okay. But it was all a setup for failure, man. Okay. So let's get a couple off the comment board. All right. And now it's just all crashing down. A lot of women have leaned, okay, into this. Okay, and this has been their rock, and now their rock is being broken up. Okay, there's gonna be a terrible fall. All right, Micah 2:10. This is brother, hopefully, of the elect. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Okay, it is polluted. Okay, it shall destroy you even with the sword of destruction, man. And everyone that's trusted in this man, that has trust in this man and his system, it defiles you, it pollutes you in every way, okay? And then it's going to disappoint you in the worst way in the times to come, okay? Because if you trust in this society, you're expecting the devil to do right by you, okay? That's your hope, that this devil is going to do right by you, man, which that's not going to happen, okay? Psalms 146:3, this is brother Yashima, tribe of Judah, says, put not your trust in princes, all right, which are rulers, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. Okay, the only thing that's solid is Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shai, man. Okay, like I say, we all right in this society that's collapsing, so we all gonna be affected. Okay, but we have our trust in something beyond this society. We're not trusting on America rebounding. Okay, we're not trusting on the economy to reset itself. Okay, we're not trusting this man to come up with some political policy that helps black people. No, man, I hope it's not in this place or these people, man, or this devil Esau Edom. Okay, there's no help with this man. Okay, he's the wicked that the Bible speaks, so he even destroys his own people. Okay, so what the hell you think he's gonna do with the tribes? And see, he's used a nigga woman for her purpose. The nation destroyed. 2/3, they're cooked. Okay, so now he can get AI to do most of these jobs. Matter of fact, let me get there real quick. Okay, I think this over here in China before I forget. All right, but he get AI to do most of these jobs. Okay, and to be a sorry parent, like that don't take much. He get AI to be a sorry parent. Okay, you see. So let's get this real quick. All right, so the serpent has made, the woman pretty much useless.
What does it mean for a hospital?
And now, all right, that's 12 minutes. Let me get this little shorter one. Just want to get it with it.
Imagine stepping into a hospital without a single human doctor, only highly intelligent AI machines treating thousands of patients with remarkable accuracy. Sounds like science fiction? It's already happening in China. Today, you'll get an exclusive look inside the world's first fully automated AI hospital, changing the face of medicine forever. Welcome to the Agent Hospital, developed by Tsinghua University in China, the groundbreaking healthcare facility that's completely run by artificial intelligence. This isn't just another AI experiment. It's a giant leap forward for medical innovation. What makes Agent Hospital revolutionary is its scale and precision. It boasts an impressive team of 42 AI doctors spread across 21 specialized medical departments, including emergency medicine, pediatrics, cardiology, neurology, and respiratory diseases. These digital doctors don't just assist, they independently diagnose, treat, and manage thousands of virtual patient cases at speeds humans could never match. In a recent test, these AI doctors treated over 10,000 simulated patient cases within just a few days, a workload that would take human doctors nearly 2 full years. Even more impressive, the hospital's AI achieved a stunning 93.06% accuracy rate in diagnosing respiratory conditions using the MedQA dataset. That's not only fast, it's incredibly reliable. But how exactly does this virtual hospital operate? Each AI doctor is powered by sophisticated large language models, trained on vast amounts of medical literature, patient records, and clinical data. This enables them to interact naturally with patients, recognize symptoms quickly, and suggest precise treatments effectively. Of course, every groundbreaking innovation comes with its own set of challenges and questions. While Agent Hospital demonstrates remarkable potential, we must also consider ethical concerns and limitations. For instance, AI systems lack human empathy and the nuanced understanding a human doctor offers during sensitive patient interactions. Ensuring AI doctors operate safely.
Yeah, so just to show you that they got this thing up and running, there'll probably be some more things, something else we can get into in another day, but just to show you that they got that up and running, man. So going back to the point, they've made, especially the nigga woman useless, man, as a worker, as a parent, and, they hyped you up for all this time. They just kept hyping you up. And now, all right, that mission accomplished. Because that's what the CIA do. They use particular agents and plants. And when they're done using them out of there, Tupac, Biggie, they use these niggas for a certain point, get them niggas out of there, bring some more, bring something else in. Use them niggas to a particular point, get them niggas out of there. Okay? That's how Esau operates. Once you finish what he needed you to do, you're out of there. Okay, these different terrorist groups that they demonize, these are groups that they propped up, financed, and trained them up, and they use them for a particular purpose. And once they get done with this particular group, they go to war with them. Okay, nigga woman, they done used her, trained her up, built her up, sponsored her, financed her. Now that they're done, their operation is done. 2/3 are cooked. All right, ain't no coming back. They beyond repair. Okay, the trajectory they on is just for the missiles. So they are cooked. They're done. So now he's just doing away with all these little perks. Okay, and it's intentionally being done like this, man. Isaiah and the brother can get that. Isaiah 32:9. It says Isaiah 2:12. This is brother GMS. Pray always, hope for elect. All right, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. So even from the Edomite man, the elites of Esau, down to, all right, the proud people of this man's kingdom. Okay, because a lot of people have become proud within this man's kingdom. Him, being the most proud. Okay, but there's a lot of people that's proud within this man's kingdom. All right, it's finna be brought low. Their pride finna be brought low. That's a guarantee. Okay, this is Isaiah 32:9 from the brother Kazak Bon Yahweh. I think he put 10 and 11 too, Baba Shah. This is Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Okay, and America has had the woman at ease. At ease. All these different benefits and perks, and this has been a very woman friendly, system. Okay, the woman, she's been the head of the household. The custody of the children. She's been granted everything. Okay, she's been the authority. Okay, amongst the tribes in this society. Okay, the scriptures say women rule over them. You see, the matriarch. Okay, so this has made the woman careless, man, because she's always had these loans and grants. Because you get different grants for being a minority, but the woman, all right, the nigga woman was considered a double minority. When you go into these government contracts and grants and loans, well, she would be eligible for a lot of things that no one else, even because the black man would just be a minority. Okay, and then you have, you know, veterans, they will be eligible for certain things, but no one was eligible for more, all right, government assistance than the nigger woman when it came to these grants, because they was considered a double minority, man. Okay, and they put them at ease, you know. I'll say, if you know, and see, the thing is, if this is your everything, you're done. If this has made you proud, okay, shit on men, you know, while your nation just suffers. Okay, you've been boasting, and this is, if this is your everything, you're done. Okay, because like I say, brothers and, you know, sisters got careers. Okay, have got degrees and businesses or whatever, grants and loans. Like I say, use this world, not abuse it. But if this has made you proudful, okay, and your trust is in this place up and running, you're finna be done. Okay, it says, many days and years shall you be troubled, you careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come, and the vintage is failing. You know, the what they used to be able to harvest from this society, what is failing. Okay, it's not going to come. You know, you're expecting, you know, to get a return on these, on all the years you put in school and the loans you got. Now because guess what? Because you got the debt, so you still owe them loans, but your degree is not as valuable anymore. So you think they're gonna say, well, look, we're gonna void out, we're gonna you know, wipe out your loans since they downgraded your degree? No, Esau still need that. Okay, he still want that. Okay, so now you got the debt without even the value that the degree once had, man. Okay, but this the devil. Okay, it says, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled, you careless women, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your lawn, because it's gonna be sad. All right, it's gonna be misery, it's gonna be suffering. All right, that's getting ready to come, okay, to you women, man. Okay, because Esau has had you so comfortable, man. Esau has had you riding shotgun in this kingdom, drinking good wine, okay, decked out. You know, you've been riding shotgun with the devil in this kingdom. Okay, now this devil is hitting the ejection button on your ass, man. Okay, stripping you from these little perks and privileges, man. You know, and it's gonna be a hard fall. Okay, Isaiah 32:12, it says, they shall lament for the teats, all right, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Yeah, you're going to be wishing, okay, wishing for that those advantages you had, those perks you had, man. You're going to be longing for that, man. Okay, you're going to be longing for those things, man, and they're not going to come. Okay, it's just going to be a memory. Okay, that Johnny Taylor song, Too Many Memories. You gotta be kind of older from the South, you know what I'm talking about. That Johnny Taylor, Too Many Memories, man. All right, Isaiah 2:12. Hey, the Spirit want this come out again, you know, from the beloved brother GMS Des Moines. You know, shalom to y'all brothers, you know, diligent brothers, man. You know, Isaiah 2:12, it said, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, he shall be brought low, man. So this is what we're seeing. All right. And these things are only going to increase. These are just the beginnings. Okay. Because this man plans to reset this system. All right. Create chaos. All right. And if you depend and trust in this system, you're going to be humbled. You're going to be brought low. Okay. As the scripture say, you're going to be trodden down as a mire of the streets. All right. And the elect finna win. All right, the elect finna get everything. All right, the men, all right, women and children that are allotted for salvation finna get everything. The meek shall inherit the earth, and everyone else is finna lose, man. So Lord will, you know, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I'm gonna give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. Peace and blessings, salutations to the whole elect. Shalom.